She said it with a smile, that mocking, entitled little smirk that hardly even looked like her anymore. At least Mom's new husband isn't the broke loser like you. The sound of silverware froze midair. Her voice, too sharp, too polished, cut through the stillness of my kitchen like a serrated knife. My ex-wife sat smugly at the end of the table, swirling her wine as if she hadn't planted those exact words in our daughter's mouth just days earlier. I didn't respond. Instead, I chewed slowly, swallowed hard, and reached for my glass of water, feeling as though I'd been gutted in front of the only two people I once called family. That's when the real silence began. Not the awkward kind that fills a room and eventually fades, but the kind that starts deep inside you. I remembered when Sarah used to run into my arms after ballet class, her tiny feet blistered from practice, her cheeks flushed with excitement, her breath spilling over with dreams. "You're my hero, Daddy," she'd whisper. And I believed her. Even after the divorce, I stayed close. I paid for everything: her tuition, her car, the summer program in Paris she bragged about to her friends. Every bit of it came from my quiet sacrifices, skipped vacations, endless workdays, ignored needs. And I never complained. Not once. Not when Laura left me for a man with an empty smile and a full wallet. Not when she slowly poisoned Sarah's heart with stories of my bitterness, my shortcomings, my failures. I watched the change happen one comment at a time. I lost her. Still, I held on to hope that one day she'd see the truth. But then came that dinner. That night, hope didn't die in an explosion. It slipped away in silence. The betrayal wasn't loud or dramatic. It was in the way Sarah stopped hugging me, in the way she rolled her eyes when I asked about school, in how casually she began calling her mother's new husband Dad right in front of me. The final blow came when I discovered her tuition had been paid, not by me, but by him. My name had been removed from the financial portal. I was cut off. Not my money, just me. That's when everything shifted. That's when I stopped hoping, stopped waiting to be recognized. They mistook my silence for surrender. Laura always believed I was too polite, too soft-spoken, too passive to ever challenge the life she rebuilt on my dime. She forgot one thing. I was the one who funded that life. I knew how it was built, and I knew exactly how to dismantle it. So I began. First, I called the bank and froze the education fund. It was in my name. Legally, it was mine. Laura never read the fine print. She just assumed I'd keep paying to keep the peace. Next, I called the dealership. Sarah's car was leased under my business account. At dawn, it was towed from her university parking lot. Then I turned to her campus expenses, meal plans, dorm fees, book allowances. I shut it all down and rerouted every notice to my private email. Sarah wouldn't be able to register for classes until the balance was paid. And then I waited. The panic came quickly. At 6:43 p.m., Laura called first. Her voice shook, hiding fear behind forced anger. "What did you do?" "Sarah just called me crying. Her car's gone. She can't get to class. What the hell is wrong with you?" I paused, took a slow breath, and answered with a calm that only comes when you've had enough. "I stopped sponsoring disrespect. You can't just." "I can." I did. "And I will again if you keep pushing." The silence on her end was exquisite. "You're punishing your daughter." "No," I said. "I'm teaching her that actions have consequences. Just like yours did." She hung up. For the first time in months, I smiled. 2 days later, Sarah showed up at my door. Not for a visit, for help. Her eyes were red and swollen, her nails bitten down. She wore clothes I didn't recognize, probably borrowed. Gone was the polished, high-end version of her I'd grown used to. For the first time in years, she looked small. Real. "I need help," she whispered. I stayed quiet. Then she broke. Tears streamed down her face. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. It was just a joke. Mom told me you wouldn't care." I looked at her, really looked. Not at the teenager who tossed my love aside for approval, not at the young woman who treated my sacrifices like pocket change. I saw the little girl I once tucked in at night, the one who cried after her first school play, terrified I wouldn't be proud. I never wanted you to love me for money, I said softly. But I won't let you hate me and still take from me. I don't hate you, she sobbed. I was stupid. I just wanted to fit in. I didn't mean what I said at dinner. Yes, you did, I replied. And that's okay. But now, you'll learn what it costs. I didn't hand her keys. I didn't write a check. I gave her something more valuable, responsibility. Sarah got a part-time job. She moved in with a friend. For the first time in her life, she learned the cost of entitlement. Laura kept calling, leaving voicemails. Some angry, others begging. I never answered, but I listened. You're ruining her life. No, I was saving her from Laura's. Months passed. Sarah's texts grew shorter, calmer. She stopped asking for money. Instead, she sent updates, a photo with her coworkers, a used textbook she bought herself, a simple thank you for being tough on her when she needed it. She was learning. As for Laura, she stopped calling when her husband's business collapsed. Turns out it was built on loans and lies. Her Instagram went silent. No more yacht selfies, no more power couple posts. I never lifted a finger. I simply stepped back and let gravity do the work. People think revenge is loud, explosive. But the most satisfying kind is quiet, precise. It doesn't destroy, it reveals. And when the dust settles, the ones who betrayed you finally see the truth. That you were never weak. Just patient. And now you're done waiting.